Our group chose to research the problems that students face when trying to park on campus. We chose this topic because most of our group could relate to the struggles of finding safe and accessible parking when trying to get to class. In the past, most students and even faculty struggled to find available parking spots in general. Other problems including parking fines, unaffordable parking passes, and unsafe parking lots. All of these problems combined with the stress of trying to get to class on time and find parking spots is an unnecessary stress for students to have to deal with, in addition to the stress of going to school. We found these unnecessary stress and built up anxiety is not necessary for students, and that's why we found it necessary to research solutions. And this is what we found.
Stakeholders in this issue include students, faculty, the University of Kentucky, and the city's administrative departments. On the one hand, their own decisions and behaviors may affect the direction and development of this problem. On the other hand, how this problem develops will also have an impact on their daily life, which may be positive or negative. In other words, if the parking problem at the University of Kentucky remain unsolved or continue to worsen in the future, the interests of these stakeholders may be undermined. On the contrary, if the problem is reasonably controlled or even solved, the interests of stakeholders will be protected to a large extent. For example, for students, solving this problem can make them spend less energy on parking and more time on their studies. For the university itself, the solution to the parking problems is to some extent the solution to the management problems. And a good parking environment is undoubtedly a part of the excellent management of the university. Therefore, it's very important for the University of Kentucky to pay attention to and solve this problem.
The first solution to help fix the issue of parking at the University of Kentucky is for the university to provide more parking buildings near classes. This is so that students don't have to worry about not being able to find a parking spot or having to walk a long way to get to class. Prices to buy passes for spots nearby are also very expensive, so students are unable to find close parking near their classes, and it makes it much more stressful than it needs to be. A way to determine how many parking spots the university will need to have enough for all the students would be by looking in the enrollment in each classes and seeing where those classes are located. It would also be important for the university to know how long those classes are and leave plenty of time for students to have time to get there early. This is also extremely important to faculty because it not only relates to the students, but also the teachers and staff who struggle with the issue as well. This topic also seems to become a much bigger issue in the colder months, when it is difficult to walk far lengths to get to class in the freezing cold. Having more parking buildings to fit both student and faculty cars would take a lot of stress off of everyone. Since now that classes are going back in person, the problem is rising again, and thousands of students on campus are struggling with this issue, and it needs to be changed because it causes students and faculty unnecessary stress. Overall, even though building these buildings would not fix all the issues that are present with parking at UK, it would help tremendously and take a load off of everybody's backs.
Parking at the University of Kentucky is a problem that we are all familiar with. More parking passes are sold than available spots. We have come up with several solutions to the problem at UK. Since there are more parking passes sold than are available, the high price of the parking pass should be decreased. Also, because parking spots are not available, many students have no choice other than to park in a lot not covered by their parking pass, resulting in fines and having their car towed. Until sufficient parking is available, we propose that parking fee fines should be eliminated for staff and students. Parking lots are also open to the public. This creates a bigger problem for the students trying to find a place to park. Because of the lack of available parking, some spots should be restricted to students and staff, especially since they pay such a high price for parking. Another solution to the parking problem at UK would be to offer discounted public transportation. If the cost of public transportation was lowered, more students and staff may choose to leave their vehicles at home, which would help the parking problem. And let's not forget this solution: expand parking. UK needs additional parking areas to build additional parking lots or parking structures to accommodate all of the parking passes that are being sold.
So in summary, as you can see, parking at UK is a significant issue. Pretty much everyone relates to it, and it is most certainly a commonality between everyone. As proposed by Olivia in Solution 1, there needs to be more parking near classes, and it keeps students from having to walk as far to their class, and that eliminates some stress. Same thing for the students as well, for the faculty as well. Typically, the staff would prefer not to have to walk 2 miles from K-Lot or a mile or however far it is to the building where they're working for the day. In Solution 2, Sean mentioned how there are more parking passes sold than what is actually available. This, as pretty much anyone would guess, would cause some pretty significant issues whenever there are big events on campus, or it's exam week, or early on a Monday morning at 9 a.m. when everyone's trying to make it to class and staff are trying to get to work. He also mentioned that students and staff should be exempt from the parking fines and the parking tickets. College students don't really have that much income, if any, and that just adds a lot of stress to their life. That even after having to pay a lot of money for tuition, they're still having to pay at UK. The parking ticket fee is $25, and it increases after a week. And that's just the parking ticket fee. If you were to get a boot, it's upwards of $100. Another option is that parking structures are open to the public. I can remember as a student coming in for my tour and parking in the parking garage by JSB. That's where a lot of students actually park. And if you have all these people that aren't students and staff parking in parking garages, it causes problems because the students can't get to where they need to go. So as you can see, in summary, these issues are very prevalent across the country, not just the UK, and these solutions are very necessary to help solve this problem.